I bought this engine and built it. Took me big 5 months to build it, and we've been coming to steam rallies ever since. Here we are this weekend. We're at West Bay in Bridport. Lovely little steam rally. There's not many engines there this year, unfortunately. There's a few missing.
Come on.
He don't want to go. He's shy.
These small internal combustion engines, they're actually wonderful things to play around with. Keep your fingers away from the moving parts, and you can go to bed each night counting your fingers. And if you've got 10, then you go to sleep. But if you've got 9, then you've got to go back and look for it to find out where you left it.
This is a 4-inch engine. It's very powerful engines. People look at these and think, oh, they don't do much. This engine is quite capable of pulling a small lorry. It works on 120 pounds a square inch steam pressure. As you can see, it's a single cylinder, single crank, and it is extremely powerful.
It gets in your blood rather. You know, it comes more natural probably than a lot of things does, you know, to have an involvement with them. And I've got a collection of about 10 now, various sizes and shapes. It does get competitive. In certain areas it's more competitive than others. You will get the situation where I've got a better engine than you, and that sort of raises the profile a bit, and you end up in spending monies of which you shouldn't be doing, and so on like that. But you've got to ignore that and sort of pursue what you can afford to.
Just injecting some water into the boiler. With steam engines, you always have to look after them. You've got the 3 main elements, which is water, air and heat. In this case it burns coal, so it's a juggling act between the 3 of them. Too much air means the coal burns quicker. Not enough coal means you run out of steam. Not enough water means the engine don't go anywhere.
I used to have the stationary engines, the internal combustion engines, and I felt that, you know, I got bored with that, so I thought I'd move into steam. Couldn't afford to buy a steam engine, so I thought, well, the only other thing I can do is actually make one. So got it into my head to make this little one to start with. This one's got a 1-inch bore and a 2-inch stroke. It's a vertical engine based on a marine engine. You know, it would have a little gearbox and a propeller if it was actually set in a boat. This one took me a period of approximately, well, it's bits and pieces. You don't make it all in one go. You do like an hour of an evening. But I suppose this one took me about 6 months to make.
Well, the only other thing is that governor, so then it starts off flat out.
It's flappy, it's lifting it.
Yeah. Because I think we sorted that last time, because that was a bit snatchy, wasn't it?
It was a bit paint on it, wasn't it?
But, I don't know, you just got to eliminate things, John.
We could take the float chamber off again and lower the fuel level on it and see if that makes any difference.
Mind you, say it's getting fuel to that thing, innit? Every time you took that lid off,
yeah, it's full up.
Because that tank's leaking. That's not a very good sort of soldered thing. That's just like 2 washers pinched together. You might have to try and get a spanner in there and pinch that up a little bit.
Yeah, that's the only trouble is they're so fiddly, you've got to keep them clean, and really I could do with a smaller finger.
The sound that the engine is actually making is where it's bouncing on its governor, because the speed of it is governor controlled, and when the engine drops below a certain speed, the governor kicks in and opens it up again, and when you put a permanent load on it, then the engine speed will maintain a constant speed. That's exactly what it's doing at the moment. I will demonstrate to you what it will actually do. If I put a constant heavy load on, this is the tone of the engine will change.
If you look at traction engines, you can tell that which ones are agricultural and which ones are for use on the road because of the flywheel. Now, there was an Act of Parliament passed back in 1870 something or other that said that traction engines for use on the road had to have a solid flywheel because it was thought that sunlight reflecting on the spokes of the flywheel would frighten people's horses. And this is why when you go around shows and that, if you see engines, you can tell straight away whether they're road engines or agricultural engines.
The machine that the engine is driving at the moment is a small domestic water, it's a small domestic water pump. Which originally, lots of these little domestic pumps were originally driven by electric power, and their main purpose was to produce automotive power from the well to the house. That was their main operation, but they were also used on the farms in the dairies quite a lot.
What better could you ask for? We go away, lovely Dorset sunshine like this, you know, lovely place, and meeting lots of people.